Welcome to part 5 in the series, Pray for the Buddhist World. My previous 2 videos touched on the Buddha's diagnosis that suffering is the central problem of human existence. And I explained what is included in the use of that term dukkha, or suffering. We also looked at his teaching that the cause of suffering is desire or craving that results in a clinging to life, its experiences, possessions, and pleasures. So, what is Buddhism's cure? In this video, we'll look at the third of Buddhism's 4 Noble Truths, the cure. The cure for suffering is remove the cause. That is, eliminate craving. The how to do that, the treatment, is in the 4th Noble Truth, which I'll talk about in the next video. This cure, that is, getting rid of craving, doesn't remove life's difficulties. It doesn't bring to an end life's painful experiences. It's a process, a journey, a pathway that involves letting go of attachments. Now, the Buddha taught that everything about life and the universe is impermanent and constantly changing. So any attempt to find happiness in a world where everything is changing will fail. Therefore, the cure to life's great problem of suffering is to learn non-attachment. That is, to engage with the world, activities, thoughts, and emotions, but to do so without craving, without clinging to, without being fixated on them. Now remember, the goal of the pathway, as we saw in the previous video, is liberation, enlightenment, and awakening to the true nature of things. In other words, the ending of ignorance, which is the root of the life of suffering. For the Buddhist, this is a really important point. Ignorance means a lack of knowledge of the true nature of all things. That is, that nothing is permanent, everything is unstable. And ignorance also refers to incorrect knowledge. For instance, belief in a personal self, belief in a creator God, and in a created beginning to all things. These beliefs too are considered to be ignorance. And as long as a person lives in this ignorance, cravings and attachments will continue, and therefore so will the cycle of rebirths. Rebirths are determined by the cause and effect law called karma. The thoughts, actions, and the intentions behind them influence a person's rebirth, both the level or realm of the rebirth and the quality of life. Someone might be reborn into one of the 6 realms of existence, depending on karmic law. But in only one of them, the human realm, can a person experience enlightenment, liberation from the cycle of rebirths. So the cure is to rid oneself of attachment, to grasping, craving. But what about the pursuit of enlightenment, the goal of achieving liberation, of attaining the state of nirvana? Isn't that also a grasping? To want to be free from attachments, from suffering, and the cycle of rebirths, that speaks of a dissatisfaction and a longing to be liberated. And that desire itself can be an attachment that will result in suffering. So the aim in Buddhism is to follow the path towards liberation, but without grasping at it. It's a difficult one to get our heads around. As followers of Jesus Christ, we look forward to seeing him, to living with him forever. We pursue that. It's a passionate desire, a resolve that we have. But the Buddhist must progress towards their goal of enlightenment or liberation with a mindset of non-attachment, that is, not being fixated on it. but fully accepting whatever is their present state and circumstance. So, yes, they want liberation. It's not a passive non-commitment, but, and this is where it's a bit of splitting hairs, although they should strongly desire it, they mustn't grasp at it. Committed, yes, but not rigidly so. They are to pursue the wholesome aspiration of being liberated, but without clinging to the outcome. They are to focus their effort in the present moment rather than being fixated on the future result. This journey towards liberation is one of self-discipline and self-reliance. No external power, divine or human, can carry a person towards it. The Buddha's teaching is viewed as a guide, and he taught that the savior of oneself is one's own self. Now, let's take a step back from this window. What we've just seen should stir in us immense gratitude for a truth that we've received as followers of Jesus Christ. And we want to celebrate that gospel truth. There is a supreme God who is the source of life and the designer of nature's beauty and complexities. To believe in him is not ignorance, but wisdom. The spiritual darkness of unbelief in the Creator and the unknowing of him began when mankind's sin separated them from God's protective care. Unbelieving hearts became hardened towards him. Mankind became accustomed to living in ignorance of the Creator and of his purpose for their lives. The good news is that in his mercy, the Creator God took the initiative to break this darkness by revealing himself in history. As perfectly holy Creator, he is the only one able to represent the entire human race. He came into the world as humanity's substitute, died to satisfy the judgment for mankind's sin, and the merit of his sacrifice for us is freely given to all who place their trust in him. By believing what he, the Creator Liberator, did for us, our relationship with him is restored. Darkness of the heart is replaced with his light, and we understand that he is the answer to the question of the source and meaning of life. No one has the moral strength or power of will or purity of heart and true understanding to liberate themselves. It's a gift from the Creator to all who put their trust in him alone as their liberator. This is the path of wisdom. It's a wonderful gospel truth that we can celebrate. We praise the supreme Creator God for his mercy towards us. When we were separated from him and ignorant of him, he chose to reveal himself in history. He chose to shine his light into our spiritual and moral darkness. And we thank him, our liberator, for paying the extreme price on the cross to do what we couldn't do for ourselves. We thank him for taking away our sinfulness and brokenness and giving us the fullness of his merit, his righteousness. We exalt him that the good news of the gift of liberation from him is for all people in every nation and every culture. I encourage you to either pause the video or return to this celebration frame later and do that. Then with a heart that is celebrating the gospel truth, pray this for the Buddhist world. And here are two anchor verses for your praying. The first is Ephesians 4 verse 18. So I tell you this, and insist on it in the Lord, that you must no longer live as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their thinking. They are darkened in their understanding and separated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them, due to the hardening of their hearts. The second verse is 2 Corinthians 4 verse 6. For God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. Pray this for the Buddhist world. Mention to the Lord the name of a Buddhist country or community, a city or town in a Buddhist majority nation. Then, as if standing there on sight, announce to the Lord your belief that he is the true light, who can and wants to overcome the spiritual darkness in hearts and minds there. Then ask him to shine his light into hearts, the light of truth about the Creator Liberator, who alone can rescue from spiritual darkness and from the hopelessness of dependency on self-effort. Pray for the power of the gospel to overcome the distorted and untrue teachings about the Creator Liberator that many have been exposed to, and to break the power of unknowing, the power of unbelief and of confusion. Pray for the gospel truth to demolish mental strongholds of untruth and to turn hearts to the way of wisdom, Jesus Christ. Pray for the power of God's Spirit to free people from their attachments to and fear of demonic powers. Pray that the light of the gospel will free people from the control of those powers so that they can respond to the gospel. Watch the next video in the series, Pray for the Buddhist World, the fourth of Buddhism's Four Noble Truths.